Hello everyone, yesterday SpaceX did flight test 13 of their Starship Super Heavy system, and therefore it is once again time for me to do something heinous to said system. And we are going to be focusing on Starship because, well, before it used to be that Super Heavy was doing great and Starship was sort of not doing so well. But now the situation is reversed. Now, Starship is doing great, even surviving impact with the ocean, and Super Heavy is not doing so well, not being able to set itself down softly in the ocean, or the Gulf as it were. So, whereas I previously did Super Heavy applications, the Super Heavy applications program, now we are going to do Starship applications. And in this video, I want to ask the question, can we make Starship into an SSTO? Now, the body of this is Starship version 2. I don't think mass-wise it's too different than the current Starship though, and I've got the configuration on these engines to the Raptor 3 configuration that Pika had. So we've got the sea level, we've got the vacuum, those are the numbers, alright? So that's for reference. They're pretty good, but taking a look at the situation, given the mass that we have and not much of a payload. We're just carrying a handful of Starlings. So taking a look here, we see hardly, not even the pack of Starlings that they had before, just a couple. So not much of a load at all, and well, we don't have enough delta V to get to orbit, we don't have enough thrust weight ratio to get off the ground. Of course, the vacuum engines aren't exactly great for getting off the ground. They can operate at sea level because of the high chamber pressure of the engines. So they do get sea level ISP. Not that good though, and not as good as the sea levels obviously. Though actually, well, this is pretty close, isn't it? But anyway, it's not enough. Now, of course, we could address the not enough part by having 3 more, right? They've even talked about doing that, so we could just scooch those in, sort of like so. And then we have enough thrust to weight ratio, but definitely not enough delta V. So what are we going to do about this? Well, it's not enough thrust weight ratio so that we can really add more fuel to it, right? It can get off the ground, but it's not a whole lot to spare, not enough to get us the extra delta V. And of course, at this level, when we're going with an SSTO, we need to squeeze the fuel in I mean, it's rough because we get diminishing returns. So we certainly want boosters at this point, and we could carry some dumb boosters. What would be the dumbest boosters to carry? Well, the ones that aren't working for ULA, obviously, but they would exist at least. The GEM 63 XLs. So we've got a few of those, and let's just see what we could do with them. Now, I'm only gonna put them on the non-tile side. Now, yeah, so these are the ones that are causing ULA trouble with the Vulcan rocket. So they wouldn't be the greatest idea, but what we can see is we gotta be able to slap a whole bunch and get a lot of thrust weight ratio, but we need space for the fuel. So maybe we should put them more like this and get that thrust weight ratio. So we got 4 like that and get the engines back down. Okay, so now we have a little bit more thrust weight ratio, not that much actually, and we need a lot more delta V. Now what we could do is put some drop tanks. Now again, I'm going to try and squeeze them on the non-tiled side, though we could put them on the tiled side. I mean, the external tank for the space shuttle was on the tiled side, after all. Though we know how that worked out in certain cases. Okay, now we're getting to 9,200. So right there, we could possibly make it, but it's rough. I'm going to rotate these and see if I can squeeze one more booster in. But again, our payload is just a pitiful pair of Starlings. But if they make the Starship lighter than what we have here, then eventually you could put more payload in. So we'll go with that theory. So any amount that this is over mass, you can exchange that for payload. I assume the solids will deplete before these tanks, but it's possible these tanks will deplete first. Their priority is higher, so they will deplete before we start burning the core fuel. Alright, so this is heinous. I think you'll agree that I have fulfilled my goal here. These should be locked. There isn't quite a lock option here. I'm just going to zero it out. No, let me just type the numbers. So this is obviously not an SSTO anymore with the boosters. Alright, well, it hasn't exploded yet. Ascent guidance. We'll just go to that orbit. It's an interesting sort of arrangement, I think you'll agree. How much of a sidestep is it gonna do on release, I wonder? Okay, well, I think we'll try it. Not much sidestep. The booster placement is just about right to counterbalance these, I think. That's reading negative there, as if we're not going to make it and we're going to be short by quite a lot. Okay, but I better pay attention. Oh, the SRB's already done. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Oh, no, that's not right. Or maybe... I don't know why it thinks we need 9,200 though. We have plenty of thrust to weight ratio. It's pitching up a lot. We're going up pretty steeply as it is. We don't need to pitch up like this, surely. And we've got thrust weight ratio. I don't think Ascent Guidance understands this at all. I don't know why it thinks it needs so much pitch. Well, we're probably not going to make it, but it seems like it was Ascent Guidance's fault, so I'm going to try launching it manually myself. With Smart ASS, of course. Let me have the... Let's have the top tank finish first, and then I'll keep an eye on this one. And I think the boosters go first. I'm surprised things didn't explode. They actually went off pretty cleanly. Well, they didn't kill us anyway. Might have killed the flaps, but anyway. Throttle up, SAS on, ignition, and go. Well, let's go like that. Off we go again. The Starship mod is, of course, Pekka's Starship. We're past the speed of sound. Okay, boosters should be able to go off now. Oh, well, they banged into things a bit. And drop tanks. Now, those are fine. I think we're looking pretty good. There is a matter of how much it's going to have to spare to get back, and right now that's not looking great. But we could pick better boosters than the Gem 63 XLs. I already know what some of you will be thinking. You're gonna be thinking of putting Falcon 9 on the side of it, aren't you? Well, that gets complicated. But it's a possibility. That's one possibility. Another is to completely change everything. Well, you can throttle down for sure. You can probably turn off some of the sea levels, but I don't know about control at that point. Let's see. Do I have RCS enabled here? There we go. RCS will just be for roll. We'll have one sea level there. Now the G-force is going up. Okay, well, maybe we should coast here. But we certainly don't have enough to come back down. Well, we're technically out of the main propellant. The rest is all just the fumes, basically. The residuals. That's a lot to be claiming down there. But anyway, we are in orbit. But clearly not enough for normal Starship operations. So more work would need to be done. So I've already mentioned one possibility, and that's using Falcon 9 on the side that we will see later in a subsequent video. This was the worst booster option. I think we'll all agree. But there is another option, and that's actually using a tri-propellant mix in the body. Instead of just methane and oxygen, using three things, and then making the drop tanks larger. In fact, making them 9 meters in diameter to match the normal form factor that SpaceX has. So in that case, they don't have to make special things. They could just make their normal 9-meter rings. And the fact that we're using a tri-propellant mix of, in that case, hydrogen, methane, and oxygen will compensate for it. So we need the extra volume, but we get the extra ISP is the goal. So that's another option to test. No idea whether that will work right or not, and probably it'll still need boosters, but we'll see. So with those as possibilities in future videos, I'll say thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do press like. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time.